Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Clock Country. Today we've got a little bit different video than I normally do. This is the Fuji Professional GW690 Mark III. Yeah, I just picked this camera up about 3 or 4 weeks ago and got it from the friends down at Film Camera Tokyo. I'm pretty excited about it. It's definitely an interesting camera. I've put about 3 rolls through it so far. First off, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty fun to use. It's also referred to as the Texas Leica because it's so big and it's rangefinder. So here's my Leica and here's this camera, and this is the comparison. I mean, they kind of look the same. But this one is much larger and heavier too. I mean, not that much heavier, but it is definitely weighs more. It's a 6x9, so the aspect ratio comes out to something really similar as shooting like a normal 35mm, but the resolution obviously is so much higher. With that, the depth of field can be much shallower. This lens, Fuji 90mm, opens up to 3.5, and I've shot this camera a little bit inside, and you know, 3.5 is not the brightest lens or the fastest lens, but with 800 speed or even 400 speed inside, you can kind of get the job done. This camera has a leaf shutter, so the shutter is in the lens. The other thing I like about this camera, it's lighter than my other medium format cameras. I've got a Bronica S2A and I've got an RB67. The Bronica is not bad for carrying around. It's pretty light, actually. Well, maybe it's not very light, but it's portable. It's easy to carry. The RB is not easy to carry and it's very, very heavy. This camera though is so much easier to carry, and you know, just throw on a strap and just carry around like a normal rangefinder. I mean, the only difference is it's huge and a little bit heavier. Heavy enough that you definitely, if you walk around all day, you notice it. But compared to my other medium formats, it's lighter. It's great. It's mostly built out of plastic, which is, you know, on video it probably looks, you know, it does look very plasticky. It is very plasticky. Like this lens hood is very, I don't know, it's very plastic feeling, and it's kind of loose and just slides around. And you need to use it. That's the thing. You have to use it because that is where your shutter speed and aperture is hidden. It's definitely a feature that I don't really like about this camera. Other than that, it's okay. The fact that it's plastic, it makes it a little bit lighter than the previous versions. Let's get into some of the kind of, they're not negative things. I actually see them as good potential, but because this camera is a 6x9 and it shoots humongous negatives, you only get 8 shots per roll. If you find 220, you can shoot it, which is kind of cool. It also has an option for 4 exposures on 120, and I believe, I would assume that's for maybe double exposures. I don't know. You only get 8 shots, and you know, I mean, with an RB you only get 10 shots, but that difference of, maybe it's just the number difference in your mind, like 10 is 2 digits, 8 is 1, I don't know. I mean, I feel like my decision making gets so, it's more like, okay, I took this shot, maybe it's good, but now I gotta find something really, really good to make sure that this roll is just like fire, and I don't waste too many shots. So it really forces you to like search for something, which is funny because like I think using this camera best would be having a really like a set plan. Like, I'm gonna do this today, I'm gonna shoot this, I know what I want to do, and I'm ready to do it. But it's kind of a paradox. This camera's kind of a paradox. I'll get to that later, but if you miss a shot with this, it's rough. So one roll that I shot with this, for example, I was just walking to my work, I think on my commute, and I saw this building that I normally, like, I like the architecture. It's a very strange building, and you know, what I discovered when I was setting up to shoot it is that this lens is a little bit, because it's a 90 on a 6x9, I think it comes down to the 35mm equivalent of a 40 or 39, so it's a little bit wider than my Leica at 50mm, and so and because it's, you know, a long medium format kind of aspect ratio, I realized I can get the whole building in the shot. This is really cool from across the street. So I get this thing all set up, I get my aperture dialed in, my shutter speed, and focus it up, and get ready for this shot, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so cool. And of course, because it's a rangefinder, which you can do on many rangefinders, I get it all focused up, pull the trigger, and then look down, and of course the lens cap is on it. So that's one just nothing frame in a roll of 8 photos, which is, you know, after that I just walked away. I was like, I'm not even gonna retake this photo. The next thing I did the next day is go out and buy a clear filter for it, because I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm not gonna throw this away or anything, but it's not going on. If I'm shooting this camera, it's gonna be packed away in my bag. Also, the focus throw on this is very slow and very smooth, which is great. You can really kind of dial it in. The other thing that is kind of, you only get one lens. You can't change the lenses. It's only this 90. They make a wide that has a 65mm. I think it's 65. I saw it in a store, actually. I was looking at one. Yeah, but you can't change the lenses. It's not interchangeable. So you're kind of stuck with this. I see that kind of as an advantage, though, again, as kind of making you pare down your choices and kind of forcing you to use what you've got. That said, like, this Leica is interchangeable too, but Leica lenses are so expensive that I'm probably only going to stick with this 50 for a long time. The other thing about this camera is the shutter buttons. So you've got a shutter release on the top here, which is cool. It's nice. I will say, I think because they're like, this must be plastic with a metal insert. This one's kind of smooth. The one on the front, which I actually love and I think is an awesome design, right here, which also actually has a lock, which is really nice, but so you don't waste those 8 shots. This one here, it's cool. It's really convenient to hold this camera like this and shoot it, but it's a little bit sticky. And I mean, it might just be my copy. It might just be the fact that it's plastic on plastic. It's not the smoothest. And so when I've shot portrait mode like this, in a few instances, I've gotten some camera shake, and it's because I feel myself like kind of move it when I pull the trigger. It's too bad. So I think it's a big user error thing, and I think once I get used to shooting it like this, it will be great, because it's an awesome feel, and I think for portraits it's great. For big landscape, or not landscapes, but buildings, architectural stuff, it's awesome. So I really like this, but I wish it was a little smoother. Oh, one more thing about this thing. The viewfinder in this camera, it's huge. I mean, you can see this window, it's massive. For people with glasses though, like me, it's a little bit hard to see the frame lines. I've made some mistakes by I thought I was getting a good shot framed pretty nicely, and then the bottom of a handle, or not handlebar, the bottom of a stair railing is in the frame that I didn't really see because I wasn't really looking around. Other than that, you know, it is nice and clear and easy to see. The final thing about this camera, and the reason why I think it's like a paradox, because the best situation you could do is go out and have a plan. Be ready. You know what you're gonna shoot. I'm gonna bring a tripod. I'm gonna shoot a very specific thing that I already planned out, and I'm not gonna waste my film because it's expensive and you're only getting 8 shots. That said, the paradox of this camera is it's so easy just to carry it around. It's so easy just to go through and just to pick it up and point and shoot. At the same time, I think if you use this camera really creatively, I think the results you could get would be fantastic. The one thing I know though, no matter how I shoot it, if I just take it out or if I set up a big shoot with a lot of intention beforehand, no matter what, this camera's potential is way beyond me, and I can keep it for a while and really learn how to make images with it. And so for me, that's really always exciting. With the potential of the camera is so high, and I've just only shot 3 rolls through it, so I'm really looking forward to what I could make with this camera. Anyways, thanks again for following me. I know this video is a little bit different than the usual, but I hope that you enjoyed some of my kind of ramblings on the Fuji GW690 Mark III, and I hope you enjoyed some of the images that I shared with you as well. Some of them can be found on my Instagram as always, and yeah, if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like, leave a comment, let me know about this camera, let me know if you have this camera and you have any suggestions for me on how to use it better, or tips and tricks, I don't know. Anyways, thanks again you guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, bye bye.